So welcome everyone, my name is Selin and I'm part of the Oikos community. And today I have the pleasure to interview Mr. Vusal Abasov. I hope that I pronounced it right. Thank you for your participation. Right. And could you introduce yourself shortly to the audience?
Yeah, so my name is, as you already know, Vusal Abasov. I'm from Oikos Baku chapter. I was the president of Oikos Baku chapter in 2015 and 16. Then I was elected as an executive board member for Oikos International, and I was responsible for marketing and Central and Eastern European region until 2017. And afterwards, I moved with Oikos as an alumni and was as a team member for the organizing team of Oikos Future Lab 2019. And so far, I'm trying to be an active alumni.
Okay, thank you for the introduction. And I know that you have a story for us to tell about change and innovation and how it affected your life. So would you tell it?
Yeah, of course. I was going through questions for the change and innovation, and one particular topic that I saw caught my attention, that was about vision, shaping a vision, and how it does affect the change process itself. The vision, the term vision is quite, let's say, it makes people a bit afraid for people who are unexperienced, for youngsters who are leading a team. When they hear about having a vision, they say, oh, look, what is the vision itself? Like, how do I shape a vision, right? And I had encountered this problem in my Oikos experience also. When I was a board member, when I just was elected, I was told, like, you need to have a vision for marketing domain. Like, I was thinking about, like, how do I have a vision, you know? In order to make it easier for our listeners to understand what a vision is, I started to reflect on, like, how to make it easier for people to understand. And I came with one particular idea of what vision is, you know? Vision actually is, if you go deeper to understanding of vision, vision is a dream, you know? We're always telling about, like, I'm dreaming about something, right? And if you reflect a bit on what dream is and what vision is, we can say that a vision is a narrowed, a bit more detailed, a bit more concrete version of your dream, right? Vision, you know, vision isn't only the thing that you do for organization, for your project, for team, for business, you know. Vision you have a vision on your daily basis. You have a vision for your life. You have a vision for your future. You have a vision for everything. But sometimes it is in the forms of your dreams. And sometimes in order to make it a vision, you should give it a shape, you should give it a deadline, maybe some time frames. And when you give it, when you give your dreams some particular shape, it becomes a vision. You know, a very bright example of this is maybe Martin Luther King. You know, we all heard about his, you know, that very famous speech when he says, "I have a dream." No, like we know for sure that Martin Luther King is a huge visionary, a person who envisioned that changes that are going to happen in the society in the years to come. And when we see that particular example, he says, I have a dream. What is the dream in itself? It's a vision. It's a vision of the future. It is the picture of the future that we want to build and we want to construct, right? So if we are talking about vision, like why I'm talking about this, it's very important to identify it for people to make it easier to build it in the future. So if you want to build the vision, start with your dreams. Think about what is my dream. So if you are talking about, so we are talking about personal story, right? And if you want to envision your future, start with your dreams. Go deeper to yourself and see what are my dreams, what I want to, like what I'm dreaming about for my future. Mm-hmm. And if you can identify your dreams, you give it a specific shape, you give it some details, and it becomes a vision day by day. Okay. What I wanted to, I mean, I want to develop it further a bit, to maybe give an example more examples and make it a bit more tangible for listeners. Maybe you give a question, how do one shape a vision, how you give it maybe that sensitivity. There are different ways actually for it. Some people write a roadmap, some people draw pictures for their vision. The main important thing is to give it as much details as you can. Because if you give it details, you can't even write it in a Word document on your computer. When you write it, you give it a life, you give it a shape, and when you see it, it becomes real. So in order to make it real, you need to give it to give some shape to materialize it, right? So that's very important to understand. If you want to make it effective, maybe it would be interesting for some people to write down some theses, some ideas about what particular dream might have in the future, and etc. I won't go that deep in the details.
It sounds
if you have questions, maybe you keep them. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds very interesting what you've just told me. And I would like to ask, because you mentioned Oikos in the marketing department, what was your vision for it? And how did you approach this topic of turning your dream into the vision? Like, can you give your personal example?
A personal example would be when I just started, and I was told that I got to bring some vision for the department. Mm-hmm. Generally, we already had some objectives, but we didn't have that vision of how it should like as a concept. So my challenge maybe was to understand what Oikos needs in terms of marketing. Yeah, and to give it a shape. And what I did, I had a clear understanding that we need to cover a bit more marketing channels. So I was kind of coming not from a dream perspective, because we had quite clear, key points to cover. And in terms of this, of course, we had some ambitions. Yes, for Oikos, we had huge goals to cover, maybe like 100. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I remember that we had specific numbers to cover and etc. So that was our ambition, and we were going out of this ambition to our action plan and etc. My challenge was that it was not systematic. Can you please restate the question so I bring you a bit more structured answer? Yes.
I just wanted to know how you created the vision, or which vision you created for the marketing in Oikos.
Very good. So first of all, there are three elements that we should have in all processes: people, processes, and just let me cover this quickly. So we have people, we have processes, and just a minute. I've actually noted it in my document. Okay, so we have people, processes, and products, right? Mm-hmm. That was my approach. I thought that, in order to make that vision happen, we need people. One person is not just enough in order to implement your idea. So I wanted to bring other people, so they might help me to shape a vision for Oikos. So we gathered the team for marketing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we gathered people, and then we started to reflect on what ideas we might implement for the marketing. How we can involve more people for Oikos internet, like for Oikos community, so what we did, we started with building the marketing team. When we built a marketing team, then we started to focus on processes, as I already said. Then the processes we did were to identify the marketing channels. After we identified the marketing channels, we started to look for the tools that we can use. And after that, of course, we came with a product that was a new approach for the marketing. We started to cover new social medias. We started to be more active. We came with the new approach where we needed to use more graphics, more designs for the outer audience. So the concept itself was to focus on those three items, like people, processes, and products.
Mm. Okay, that's a good wrap up.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was quite structured. You know, I had a small struggle in translating my story to listeners. Was it clear?
No, I think it's good. I really like the wrap up about people, processes, and products. I think that makes it more tangible. And so what you mean by that is that a vision can also be built by several people, right? Not only by one person.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a cool insight, to be honest. And if you would like to wrap up your story in one key message, what would this be?
Maybe there would be there would be more than one messages. Don't be afraid of your dreams. You know, don't be afraid to dream big. Have huge ambitions. You know, there is a good saying that says, in order to climb a tree, aim stars. You need to aim high to have some effect of your ambition. That's a very good saying, because if you have huge ambitions, you will have huge contribution as well that will bring you to the point that to the point that you want to reach faster that you want. So maybe the one message is dream big. Don't be afraid of having big ambitions. Believe in yourself. Believe in the power of your nature, of your identity, of your personality. The second message I want to say is that visions, they are not singular. They are plural. They can coexist. You might have like 100 dreams, 100 visions, and all of them might have some realization, some application in the future. Don't try to just refuse them. Just give them life. They will unite at the end. So in order to give you a bright example, yes, I'm quite active in several domains. I am very active in sports. I've been doing professional martial arts for like maybe 10 years. I've been told by many people, my close friends, even my family, that if you want to make some success in the future, you should focus on one particular field. You should go for education, or you should go for business, or you should keep your sports. But I never accepted this. I always believe that being in several domains is possible. Being successful in several domains is possible, and that's why I think that is possible is because I'm doing it. I've been doing professional martial arts for like quite a long time, and I'm doing it right now. I'm keeping up with my dream, with my vision to be a professional competitor in professional arena and martial arts in the future. In the same time, I never, even though I left my work in university, I'm still curious about education. I still want to, I want to make changes in education. I want to contribute, I never refuse that there is possibility for me to work there, because that's a part of a vision that I have in parallel with other visions. So maybe a second key message I would want to deliver people is that, never get rid of your ideas, your dreams, your visions. Those three words, ideas, dreams, and visions, they are kind of synonyms to each other. They just have different features. As we already said, dream is a bit more ambitious vision, which has not some details. Vision is more precise, more planned. An idea is maybe something more theoretical,
Okay. Yeah, those are two very empowering key messages, I guess. Yeah. And I hope that a lot of young students get inspired by them and take them seriously. And
I hope so.
Yeah. And to sum it up, do you have one specific practice that you recommend to students, how they can work on their vision building and turning their dreams into visions?
Yes. One particular thing that is important to do is maybe to, so that there are different things, you know, it's more about planning your time and maybe putting some so in coaching, you know, I'm going to different things, you know, I have so many things in my mind right now. So we know what is coaching is, when people coach you in order to make you more effective. In coaching, there is a concept when you give yourself critical questions and you give yourself kind of priorities. And there are questions like what you want to do in the where you see yourself in 5 years, where you see yourself in 10 years. Maybe one particular practice that might be helpful is to give yourself maybe short-term and long-term goals. You know, in short term, it might be 3 years, 2 years. You know, to tell yourself in 2-3 years, you know, a milestone that I want to achieve is this. And even better if you write it down. If you write it down, you materialize it, you give it a life. In 5 years, I want to achieve this like specific goal, or at least I want to come as close as possible to that milestone. If you do so, you know, you give yourself a direction. The concept is, imagine you're traveling, you know, and you don't know where you're going. So a life is a travel, you know, and if you know where you're traveling, then it's a lot easier to achieve it and to get to the destination point.
That's a good comparison.
At some point, you know, yeah, I mean, on the other hand, I just also want to give a different part of this, maybe of this message. This is a bit stressing sometimes. You know, we are youngsters. We want to be relaxed, to chill, and etc. That's very important. You know, when you see that you're stressed about uncertainty and that it's a bit hard to plan beforehand, just don't leave it for some time, but come to it afterwards. It might be a bit stressing. Like I understand, I've gone through this. When you think about it, you get, you know, tired like of uncertainty and etc. So don't just, you know, don't refuse it. Leave it for some time. It will work in your mind. You know, even if you are not thinking about it, you have already planted a seed of this idea in your mind, and it will grow and grow. After some time, you will just get your answer, even without thinking about it. That's how it works. Even scientifically, there is a proof, but I'm not going to science for now because I don't want to stretch our interview for a very long time.
No, it's very interesting, and I think it's a really nice metaphor with a seed growing, and maybe there'll be a tree out of it with your solution.
Yeah.
Okay, but then let's leave it like this. And thank you so much, Vusal, for participating in Next Gen Lead. If you have any questions.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah,
it was my pleasure to participate. Maybe I'm a bit concerned about the part where I talked about the vision that I built for marketing, the domain and department. I hope it was clear, and maybe a message also for participants is, if you have particular question about that experience, I'm always open to answer them. You might write me emails, you may write me messages, and I'm very open to answer those questions. Maybe the answer in the video recording wasn't very precise, and if you have particular questions, I'm ready to answer them.
Oh, that's very kind of you, and that's a great opportunity. So I hope that a lot of students will reach out to you from the local hubs. And yeah, thank you once again.